All right, we are back. We continue our conversation with Chamath Palihapitiya, talking about GameStop. Hey, Chamath, the other thing that caught my eye yesterday was our own John Nigerian, who I have on the show today, who at one point yesterday went short GameStop. I don't know where he is now. John, are you still with me?
Yes, I am, Scott. I'm still with you.
Are you still short? And you tweeted at Chamath yesterday something to the effect of, "This is how it's done." And then the stock just surged.
Yeah, well, but I know you'd find this hard to believe, Scott, but that's those spreads that I put on. I put on put spreads. And the reason for that, as you know, but I'll explain to the viewers quickly, is that you are limited in any potential loss to what you paid for the spread. So I put on hundreds of thousands of dollars of positions, just like Chamath, but I then spread it against other short positions in puts, thus creating a position where I know for sure, Scott, if the stock is above 60 by April expiration, I lose $45,000. If, on the other hand, some sort of rationality returns and that 136% short interest comes down and the stock comes down by April, if it's between, say, $60 and $30, I'll probably make $200,000 or $300,000. So it was me saying to Chamath, here's a way to put on a bet against the squeeze that's going on here. Chamath did a fabulous job buying calls, trading out of those calls, and making a nice profit. And by the way, Chamath, I also donated to the Barstool Fund this morning before we came on air, even before I heard that you did. And any of the profits I make from this trade, if it's 60 or below, all of that is going to be going to the Barstool Fund over with Dave Portnoy and the guys.
I think that's awesome. Can I say something? I just think, sure, like this is the exact thing that I'm talking about. I don't think that, John, you did a one-pager and a massive DCF. I think you're a sophisticated investor who, through a lot of experience, has figured out what you're good at. And, and when you saw this opportunity, your spidey senses went off and you put a trade on. And it's a momentum-driven trade. There is no difference, Scott, between John and, to be honest with you, most of the people on Wall Street bet. Nothing. Maybe the net worth. But I'm telling you, these kids are catching up fast because they know what they're doing too. And the reason they know what they're doing is because of companies like Google and things like the internet that just make every piece of information available. They give you access to compute resources. You could be a kid sitting at home writing models into Google Cloud that give you the same compute power as the best hedge fund, as the best investment bank. And this is what I'm trying to get across to you guys, is we are leveling the playing field. It is happening. And so there are a lot of people as compelling and as smart as John that you guys don't know about that are just behind a screen name. And I think that's okay. And I think we just have to embrace the fact that this is where we're going.
Sure. I think we also need to be cognizant, though, and
you want to see one pager, by the way? Are you going to hold John's hand and make sure that, before he crosses the street? Is that what you also
No, because John, because unlike you, John didn't suggest otherwise, that there were fundamentals involved. He didn't, right? So I don't need a one-pager. That's part of my point. But that's what we need to be.
So what are you, the free speech police now too? I mean, come on, Scott, what are you saying?
I mean, that sounds funny, and I'm sure that'll play well on Twitter, but I don't know what does that mean? I mean, I'm saying that clearly we're in a moment of time in the market, okay? Where fundamentals for some stocks obviously don't matter, okay? Nobody, I don't care who they are, is going to come here and tell me that the fundamentals are behind a lot of the moves in these stocks. They're just not, okay? Period, end of story. They're just not. It's a moment in time. Some say this is emblematic of a... Some say this is emblematic... Hang on. Some say this is emblematic of a bubble, okay?
Can I ask you a question?
I'm concerned about people getting hurt in what may end up being a part of the market that's in a bubble. That's all.
When stocks trade down, okay, in moments of dislocation, I don't know if over the last 3 or 4 years you guys can throw up a chart, but there are times where you see tip-to-tail drawdowns of 5, 10, 15% over the course of days and weeks. What are we supposed to do in those situations? Just stop the market so that it can't go down?
No, but this is
just like you can't stop the market from going up. Like,
this is you admit. I mean,
Scott, you're getting into trying to judge, and my point is you can't judge, so don't try. Okay? You have to understand and believe that there is so much information out there that people can be on a level playing field. and that the most important thing we need to do now is shine the light into the corner of the market that is still opaque. And there is only one area. Companies are forced to publish every single thing about themselves transparently every quarter, okay? ETFs publish their positions every day in some cases. Retail talks about what they're doing with transparency every minute. But institutional capital can still hide. And so if you want to create a truly level playing field that evens these things out and minimizes volatility, force these folks to show you what they're actually doing under the covers. And when you see that some of these funds are taking $50 billion and running it like $500 billion, I think we will all say, wait a minute, now that's the real risk in the room, not a bunch of guys, momentum trading like John's doing.
Look, I understand. I'm glad we had this conversation. I think it's an important one to have. It's a moment in time that we're going to look back on, and this may be the story of 2021. We shall see. It's a long year, and it's early. Last but not least, because I don't want to leave this out, and Kara Swisher would be mad at me if I did, the governor thing. Is that real? You really want to be the governor of California?
Here's what I will say. I think Gavin Newsom has done a terrible job. I think that people are leaving in droves. Crime is really high. Our education outcomes are the worst of any state. Our taxes are the highest of any state. Our air quality is the worst of any state. And so this is a state that I think is just so absolutely incredible, but right now is being run off the rails. And to the extent that we can recall him, and to the extent that my agenda, which I just tweeted out and explained, resonates with people, 0 state taxes, a minimum teacher salary of $70K, school vouchers so that you have school choice, $2,000 for every kid born in California. I think you would see a renaissance in California that would be glorious. So that's what I'm willing to say right now. First step is we need to recall Gavin.
All right, we'll leave it there. To be continued. Thanks for your extended time today. I'm glad we had this conversation.
Scott, can I just say one thing? I love you. Be on the right side of history, big boy. Be on the right side of history.
I want to make sure people are on the right side of this market. That's all, and not get hurt. Chamath, I'll talk to you soon. We'll take a quick break. We'll come right back.